Tennessee's rival, I guess, unless they just become totally inconsequential, and that would be Florida. If there's a game that you go out there and play for your coach, that would have been the game. Also, we know that the Florida kids play each other in high school, so you would think there would be motivation there as well as they play Florida State. But here's what Billy Napier had to say, and then, John, I want your take on this. Go ahead and fire that up, Caleb.
You got to go to work on the football part, and I think we got to become a more consistent team, and we have to execute better. And if we can focus on those things and not necessarily what some guy in his basement saying in rural Central Florida on social media, then we got a chance to get better, right? So,
okay, is that a quote that leads to your firing, or is that a sign that your firing is coming? Because to me, the one for Butch Jones was the champions of life. That was the 2x4 that broke the camel's back. I said, well, he's out. Is that kind of what? I mean, wouldn't you try to sell that you're building great men and fantastic future leaders in business? I mean, that's not what anybody wants to hear. So is that the quote that we'll look back on and say, that's when we really knew that he's out the door?
Look, I watched that press conference and I thought it really didn't matter what Billy Napier said or whether or not he could open a water bottle. I mean, I have arthritis in my right hand. I have kind of hard time opening some of the bottles that were put on with the vice. You know how they're put on with the vice.
I didn't hear the water bottle thing. Did I miss that?
Oh, yeah, he struggled to open the water bottle.
He couldn't open a water bottle in the post-game press conference. It was a bad look, but it capped off. It capped completely bleak. Yeah, capped, no pun intended. Billy Napier, from the moment he opened his mouth, sounded like a coach had already been fired. It was as though before he came out of the locker room and went to a press conference, he said, "Oh, Billy, by the way, you're gone. We can start negotiating when you make your exit. You can start cleaning out your desk whenever you want to." Also, though, Billy Napier doesn't have an upper lip. I kind of focused on that. He didn't, and I'm not ripping the guy. I think he's a fine human being, but he doesn't have an upper lip. And he
so how can you have a stiff upper lip in tough times?
I know. I don't have a stiff upper lip. In fact, I don't even have an upper lip. But he also didn't open his mouth very wide when he was talking. He just kind of like, we got that rural guy in his basement down in rural Central Florida. I mean, and do you do that? That's really appropriate. A guy in rural Central Florida. So we're going to make fun of people out. Imagine a farmer in Central Florida fighting every day to make ends meet. And now Billy Napier is saying he doesn't have a clue and he's living in his basement.
And he may be a Gator fan.
Huh?
And he may be a Gator fan. Probably is.
I mean, that was an awful look. Billy Napier was probably a pretty good coach at Louisiana. He did a nice job with that program. But the first time I saw him, I thought, here's a guy that kind of needed to stay at Louisiana. I don't think he has the skill set for a big-time program that he can handle all the pressure that comes with it when you're making that kind of money. And so now the pressure is coming, the heat's on, and he's ripping the fans. I mean, just get it over with.
Yeah.
I mean, would Caleb, John, start with Caleb. Would they be better off just to fire him right now and get a head start on the coaching search? Seriously.
Yes, yes. And I said that they, for those who don't remember, Tennessee, the real whole reason the botched coaching search happened in 2017 is they waited way too long to fire Butch Jones when everybody knew he was gone. And we know Billy Napier's not lasting the season. I don't think he's going to make it out of September. So yeah, I'd fire him now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I really believe if Jeremy Foley was the athletic director, he was there a long time. Jeremy Foley made some mistakes in the coaching hires, but he was quick to correct them, to erase them. Ron Zook, come see me in my office after the game. No, don't even bother with that. Let's don't go that far. Just, you can start cleaning out your office. He would have, I believe Jeremy Foley would have fired Billy Napier after that game. I really do.
Can I ask you guys both this, since y'all both covered the team during this time?
Yes.
What's a worse PR move? Billy Napier saying some rural Central Florida guy in his basement, or Jerry Green saying Tennessee fans who don't like us can go to Kmart?
I think they're very similar.
Well, they are similar, but there is a slight difference. Jerry Green was actually winning games. By the way, minor point, he was actually winning games.
That's
Billy Napier's out there. If Florida played Vanderbilt next Saturday on a neutral field, whom would you pick?
Vanderbilt. Vegas would favor Vanderbilt, I'm pretty sure.
Somebody referenced Fire Marshal Bill, which has always been, is that Billy Napier? Because he was on In Living Color. That's Jim Carrey. And you used to always say, let me tell you something.
What?
Did you see Fire Marshal Bill on the screen?
Billy Napier, and I'm no Brad Pitt. I don't mean to make fun of somebody's looks. It's inappropriate. But he is kind of an odd-looking guy. Just the hair, no lip, no upper lip. But he's probably a great human being. Although the guy out in rural Central Florida probably doesn't think so right now.
Well, Caleb, what did I say his first year at SEC Media Days? If I hear that Billy Napier is detail-oriented one more damn time, I'm going to have to go to the restroom and vomit. Because when you hired Nick Saban, you said he's a great defensive backs coach. He's a great defensive coach. When you hire Josh Heupel, you say he's got this offensive mind. But it's like he was detail-oriented. Does that mean he remembers to put the toilet seat down?
Shower
no, with that, you know what that means? And this is why we know he's not even a great detail guy. Because if he was a great detail guy before the game, he would have practiced opening a water bottle to make sure he was going to have an easy open bottle. He didn't do that. He flunked the detail test too.
Guys, is it me, or is he weirdly a clone of Derek Dooley? In the sense that these were both Nick Saban assistants who coached at a school in Louisiana that took a job at a larger school they weren't ready for, and they weren't gurus on any. People say he's more like Butch Jones. I actually think he's more like Derek Dooley in that way, where they're not like gurus on any side.
Yeah, I don't think of him like Derek Dooley. I think of Derek Dooley as a guy that he was just kind of okay about being a head football coach. I got this job. I'm going to be good at it. I'm going to make some money. And I think Derek Dooley's a bright guy. And I just think he was looking at bigger picture. I got a better job here at Tennessee. I'll take that. He stayed with a law firm for a while, large law firm, as an attorney, and probably said, man, I don't need to pile up this many billable hours. There's got to be an easier way to make a living and even make a better living. And he did that. So, no, I don't compare him to – I think Derek Dooley, not a great coach, but I think he's a lot brighter than the kind of guys Tennessee hired during that stretch. Can you see Jeremy? Do you think Jeremy Pruitt could open that water bottle? I think Jeremy Pruitt would have probably just started banging it on the lectern. I'll get that thing open. He would have given up trying to just started throwing it against the wall.
Like some sort of chimpanzee or something, frustrated, or that would be really odd. So John Duke, Billy Napier, I'm going to put the over under at October the 15th. Does he make it?
Now, I don't know what his contract is. Is there sometimes there's a date or something? There's this weird contract with Sam Pittman, another coach who's probably will bid us adieu this season. If his record drops below 500 after a certain date, you can fire him. So once it does, that that AD would get shot out of a cannon to get him over there to fire Sam Pittman. He doesn't want to waste a second time. And Bobby Petrino, yeah, you're my interim coach. Wink, wink. Now, so no. See, here's the difference with Florida has an interim president. Florida has Scott Strickland, the AD, who hired Dan Mullen, and who hired Billy Napier. I mean, Scott Strickland's gone too.
Yeah, there's no question.
So
they have to. So they'll probably keep him, I would think, till the end of the year because they have to replace their athletic director too. That's a great point. I want to. Some people like, and Caleb does, when I do my Uncle Dave stories, like from back in the past. So Caleb, you'll enjoy this, and I think our listeners will as well. The first time I heard Derek Dooley's name, I get a call and it says Adams on my phone. So I'm like, I got to call that because Tennessee's in the middle of a coaching search, and we think it might be this guy or this guy or this guy. And he goes, hey, have you heard of a guy named Derek Dooley? I was like, no. And he goes, I've got from a source that he might be the next guy. And we both were so, I guess, taken aback that they would hire him that I don't think we believed it, even though John had a really good source. And we didn't write it and we didn't break it because it was just like, surely God, no. I mean, it's one of those where common sense overcomes a good source. And my great source, like Mike Hamilton, rest his soul, he had no control anymore, so we couldn't confirm nor deny that Derek Dooley was going to be the next guy. But I still remember that's the first time I ever heard Derek Dooley's name.
Yeah, well, Billy Napier's gone, and Florida.
Shane Beamer should be gone too, by the way.
Who?
Shane Beamer. Just to throw that in. Did you see Shane Beamer lectured the media for criticizing him for barely beating Old Dominion? He said, "I don't know what you guys do, but around here we celebrate wins. You beat Old Dominion 23-19."
Listen, I for some reason I'm just switching back and forth. I don't want any dead air, so I'm going back and forth from one game to another. And I picked up right after the ODU South Carolina game, which was dreadful. And may I pronounce South Carolina is the worst team in the SEC right now?
They are.
I don't think I'm getting a lot of debate on that. Okay, so Shane Beamer, and Shane Beamer's always kind of a little bit cocky. He's kind of always got a smirk like, I know something that nobody else knows. And he's doing this post-game sideline interview and he's upbeat. And of course they're throwing him nothing but softballs kind of thing. Like, boy, let's celebrate this win. I guess you guys will be celebrating this one in the locker room. And he's going, but as soon as it ended and the announcer turned to face the audience, and Beamer turned away, his whole face changed. It was kind of like, oh my God, we just won this game by 4 points. We are so doomed. Has anybody seen the rest of my schedule? I'm done here. I mean, I'm calling Daddy after the game, and we're going to see where I can land.
Yeah.
Some FCS program. Yeah.